In December 1937, two Japanese army officers held a competition. The prize was to see who could kill 100 Chinese people first using only a sword. The Tokyo newspapers covered it like a sporting event, reported the daily scores, celebrated the winners, published their photographs. One officer reached 105, the other reached 106. The newspaper called it too close to determine a winner and asked them to compete to 150. This was not a rumor. This was on the front page of a Japanese newspaper, in print, with names. And it was happening inside a city where an estimated 300,000 civilians and prisoners of war were being killed in 6 weeks. Japan still has not called it a massacre. Nanjing was the capital of the Republic of China, a city of universities, hospitals, temples, and one of the most ancient city walls in Asia, a city of over 1 million people. When the Japanese Imperial Army reached the outskirts in December 1937, many civilians had already fled, but hundreds of thousands remained. Too poor to leave, too old to travel, too committed to the city they had built their lives in to believe what was coming. And some stayed deliberately. A group of Western diplomats, missionaries, and business people, including a German businessman and Nazi party member named John Rabe, established the Nanjing Safety Zone, a designated neutral area where they believed international presence would protect civilians. John Rabe used his Nazi party armband to stop Japanese soldiers from entering the zone. Think about that for a moment. In December 1937, in the city of Nanjing, a swastika armband was the most powerful protection available to a Chinese civilian. Rabe saved an estimated 200,000 lives. He is almost completely unknown in the West. More people have been saved by John Rabe than by Oskar Schindler, and you have probably never heard his name until today. The Japanese commander responsible for what happened at Nanjing was General Matsuoya Wang, but the order that historians have identified as directly authorizing the killing of prisoners, kill all captives, came from Prince Asaka Yasuhiko, a member of the Japanese Imperial family, an uncle by marriage to Emperor Hirohito. He issued the order. His soldiers carried it out. And when the Tokyo War Crimes Tribunal convened after the war, Prince Asaka Yasuhiko was granted immunity from prosecution, not because the evidence was insufficient, because he was a member of the imperial family. General Matsuoya Wang was convicted and executed. The man who gave the order that triggered the massacre lived in his Tokyo home until 1981. He died at the age of 93. He was never charged, never tried, never even formally questioned about the order that bears his authority. What happened inside Nanjing over the following 6 weeks has been documented in more detail than almost any other atrocity of the Second World War. John Rabe's diary. The testimonies collected by the International Safety Zone Committee. Japanese military records introduced as evidence at Tokyo. The photographs taken by Japanese soldiers themselves and later used against them in court. This is not a story that requires reconstruction. It was documented as it happened, by the people who did it. Their own records confirm what the Chinese government has said for 80 years. Up to 300,000 people killed in 6 weeks. Prisoners of war executed in mass killings at the Yangtze River. Civilians killed in their homes, on the streets, in the fields outside the city walls. And in the safety zone, where Minnie Vautrin, an American missionary, stood at the gates of Jinling Women's College and physically blocked Japanese soldiers from entering. Thousands more were protected by the bodies of foreign civilians who refused to move. Minnie Vautrin stayed at those gates for weeks. She had a nervous breakdown after the war and never fully recovered. She died in 1941. The college she protected still stands in Nanjing. After the war, Japan rebuilt. It became an economic powerhouse, an ally of the West, a democracy, and in that rebuilding, the language around Nanjing changed. Japanese school textbooks in the 1980s referred to the Nanjing Massacre as the Nanjing Incident. An incident. 300,000 people. An incident. The Japanese government has officially acknowledged that killings occurred in Nanjing. They have never officially called it a massacre. They have never issued a formal state apology equivalent to Germany's acknowledgement of the Holocaust. The Yasukuni Shrine in Tokyo, which honors Japan's war dead, including convicted war criminals from Nanjing, is visited by senior Japanese politicians to this day. In 2023, Japanese cabinet ministers visited the shrine. The families of the 300,000 are still waiting for the word that Japan refuses to say. And John Rabe. When he returned to Germany in 1938, he tried to present his evidence to Hitler. He was silenced by the Gestapo. After the war, he was denazified and left in poverty. The Chinese government, the government of the same people he had saved, sent him food parcels to keep him alive. He died in 1950 without ever seeing Japan acknowledge what he had witnessed. His diary was returned to China as a historical document in the 1990s. It is now one of the most important primary sources for understanding what happened in those 6 weeks. A Nazi Party member's diary is the best evidence we have of a Japanese war crime. The moral complexity of that sentence tells you everything about the war the history books still haven't fully written. We have now covered on this page My Lai, the Zone, Tulsa, Novichokosk, Morant Bay, the Biafran War, and now Nanjing. And we are going deeper. Coming soon, the Amritsar Massacre, the Katyn Forest, Oradour sur Glane, the Armenian Genocide, the Herero Genocide, the Comfort Women of Japan, the Move Bombing, Sand Creek, Wounded Knee, the Irish Famine, Haiti versus France, the Stolen Generation, Country by Country, Continent by Continent, USA, Canada, Singapore, Guyana, Malaysia, the Netherlands, Indonesia, China, the Philippines, Japan, and North Korea. Every nation, every buried story, every document they hoped would never be found. Do you want us to keep naming the people who gave these orders? Prince Asaka Yasuhiko issued the kill all captives order at Nanjing and was never tried because of his royal blood. General Matsuya Wayne was convicted and hanged. The man who gave the order lived to 93. Comment yes below if you want every name in every future video. Drop your country below right now. Where are you watching from? Because this series comes to your country next. Tell me which massacre, which genocide, which buried atrocity from your nation you want us to dig into next. The comment with the most response decides where we go. Share this video right now. Someone in your life has heard of Schindler. Ask them if they have heard of John Rabe. Ask them why they haven't. Then show them this. Find us on YouTube, search Official The Odd Archive, and subscribe. Because the next story we are covering, the government responsible is still a close Western ally today. And the victims are still waiting for an apology that has never come. And we are Odd Archive, the most factual history page on the internet. Every story documented by the records of those who caused it. Not rumor, not opinion. Their own files, their own newspapers, their own court testimony, used against them.